Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
So excited to have Tristen Sky joining us here today, a psychic medium and light worker. That's right. He's so much more. We're welcoming him here to the show today from Ontario, Canada, to talk more about the amazing work he does as a psychic medium, Reiki master, astrologer, you name it, Kundalini yoga teacher. Is there anything you don't do?
I mean, hi, Jill. Thank you so much. And you're right. I feel like I do a million and one things, but I love every one of those things. So.
Oh, amazing. Well, we're excited to have you here. And I read so many of your reviews and people just raving over the work you do. And it's exciting to have you here to get to know you. And first and foremost, let's tell them how we can find you. TristenSky.com, TristenSky.com. Where else? Do you have social media pages? Yes.
Heck yes, I do. So I'm on Instagram, same thing. So it's Tristen.Sky. I'm on Facebook, TikTok. I'm very socially active, I must admit. I love to talk and do things. So yeah, I'm pretty much everywhere.
Amazing. So you say you have the gift of, is it all the clairs? Is that possible?
Of course it's possible. And yes, I do. Not to toot my own horn, but yeah, so there's many different types of clairs. They're called clairsenses. For instance, I think the most popular one is clairvoyance. So that's being able to see things from the other side. But there's also clairsentience, which is clear feeling. There's clairaudience, which is clear hearing. Clairgustance, which is clear tasting. So it's like when you see, hear, feel, taste things that aren't like real, but are from the other side. Any human can really develop these gifts. For me, it's a little bit easier, but my strongest is clairvoyance, I must admit. I tend to see things a lot more than like I hear or feel, etc.
Yeah. Well, do you mind me asking, when did you notice you had this gift and talent? You know, tell us about Tristen growing up. Where did you grow up? And tell us a little bit about your background. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I'm from Sudbury, Ontario, in a very, very small town. It's actually called Chelmsford. It's a very small country hick town. And you know, I'm very different. I'm like the sensitive psychic, you know, I'm very expressive and colorful, LGBTQ. So anyways, it was very struggling to fit into this small town. So I had no choice but to really be introspective and be with myself and to think and to feel. But it was around 7 years old when I first tapped into these psychic abilities. I was 7 when I saw my first angel. Actually. Wow.
What was that like? And what was it like to you? And how did you describe that to your family?
Oh my God, my family. That's funny. Well, it's interesting. Well, more so it was like I was a child. So it was more so like, you know, silly, like imaginary friends, like talking to angels and butterflies and, you know, fairies. Like it was more so like child's play. So I wasn't taken as seriously, but like I'm 27 years old and I still see and talk to the same thing. So there's like a shift, but the difference is that my mom met a different psychic. Her name's Jaylene. She's amazing. She taught me a lot of what I know. And that kind of broke my mom's wall to like the psychic senses. So it's grace to another psychic. So once my mom discovered this psychic, and then once I started to develop my psychic gift, she was more on board. She was like, oh, I believe in it because I saw a different psychic. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that was good.
Yeah, thank God. Thank God. But it was definitely struggling for sure, just to be myself, like in society, being so sensitive to energy. Like I feel like I'm hypersensitive, like a highly sensitive person to energy. You know, like if someone's just thinking bad thoughts, I feel it.
Ooh.
You know? Yeah.
Well, I hope you get good vibes from me. I'm thinking positive thoughts. I'm just naturally kind of like positive person. And by the way, I just saw that you requested me on Instagram, so I got you back. I didn't know that, but thank you.
You're so sweet. No, I'm giving you a big hug. I just feel like you're overflowing with good energy. Silly girl. Of course I'm getting good vibes from you.
Well, thank you. This is amazing work you do. To you, it's your mundane, normal life. But to so many of us, it's like, wow, you know, we want to find out your gifts, your talents, and, you know, how can you help us? And people out there come to you for so much. Would you mind sharing a little bit about what's, you know, they come to you for? Because you do a lot of work.
Well, I do. And that's okay. Firstly, I love astrology. Okay. So I'm a Gemini, and Geminis tend to be jacks of all trades. If there's Gemini listeners, we tend to be like multifaceted. So we get bored easily. So we tend to learn a bunch of different things. We have 10 different jobs, lots. Anyways, I'm very Gemini. So of course I wanted to learn about crystals, and then I wanted to learn about Reiki, and then I wanted to learn about astrology, and then mediumship. Like I couldn't decide. Even today, I'm still learning new modalities, which is kind of good because I feel like I know a lot of stuff. But I come from Reiki. So when I was around 18, or maybe when I was 17, I learned Reiki, which is a type of energy healing, and still quite young at 18 to become a Reiki master. So I started with that, doing energy healing on the side. I went to school and did my thing, had other jobs, but I kind of just did my energy healing thing on the side, which was kind of fun. But I always felt a strong pull towards like my senses, and like I would see things with people, and I just like I want to say things, and like sooner than later my messages started to come through, and I started to say things, some psychic things that are just so crazy to understand. So at around 2020, it's when I really took the dive into my business, and I said, okay, Tristen, this is what we're meant to do. So now I do energy healing, but it's more so through channeling. So now what I do with my clients, it's either in person or through Zoom. I give psychic messages. So I talk to the other side, spirit guides, past loved ones, and I deliver messages from the past, the present, and the future. And it's all about healing. One of my favorite things is to heal. I think it's something that's not addressed enough in this world. So healing, energy healing, love, grief, whatever it is, healing, but then also igniting awareness. I like to make people think. I like to make people wonder about like if there's more to life than this. So those are the two things I work with, which is healing and igniting awareness. But each session is different. Some people, are going through like a heartbreak and they want to find out who their next boyfriend will be. I can give some
Yes.
clues. That's kind of what I do.
Oh my goodness. And hold on.
Mm,
You mentioned now you are hypersensitive. So there's a lot of struggles that go into that, right? Could you just share a little bit about that if you don't mind?
of course. Well, that was the main thing. So I was so sensitive, and I still am. I'm more sensitive than I've ever been before. Like for instance, I'm really sensitive to substances. Like if I just have a sip of beer, I'm drunk. If I just have an Advil, I'm high. Like I'm really sensitive to
Wow.
substance. It's crazy. I know. It's kind of,
Oh,
I'm
and
like,
by the way, but you have and you also have your own line, right? So what about your sprays?
I know. A million and one things. But yeah, that's something we can just like we'll chat about a different time, I'm sure. But
Yeah.
yeah, well, a big part of my healing was connecting with flowers or just Mother Nature in general. So I go out for walks and just connect to trees and the rivers. And to me, it's like so healing. Like there's been times where before, not now, but there were times where I didn't really want to be on Earth anymore because it was so tough to feel all these things. So I go into nature, and just looking at a flower would make me feel so happy, smelling a flower, appreciating a flower. And I came to discover that like flowers have magical abilities, like they have a frequency and energy. So if we merge our auras with these plants, then we start to feel happier too. So, you know, flowers was another big part of my of my journey. I spent like 2 years
Yeah.
studying flowers. So yeah, I make little
Oh,
flower
wow.
products and that I sell to like my clients and stuff. Hmm.
And then at 17, you started energy healing and became a Reiki master on top of it all, too.
Yeah, why not? I said, why not? Let's just do one in 10 things. But yeah, when it came to healing, I feel like I had no choice. I felt like there were so many different avenues for someone to help themselves. And like I tried, therapy, psychology, but it didn't hit it for me, which is still a beautiful practice that can help so many people. But like where I truly found help was when I went to go see a psychic or an astrologer or a Reiki master. And this is when I discovered that this could help a lot of people. So I kind of learned it for myself as well. And then here I am helping other people.
Amazing. And then you have countless of hours of yoga under your belt, breath work, meditation, psychic sessions, astrology readings. And so over time, you developed even more, a stronger connection, I guess, with your psychic gifts, right?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like I spent my whole life really literally like studying this, like studying yoga, studying astrology, studying flower energy, nature, Reiki, that it's my job. I wake up and I read a book about something and I meditate for 2 hours and then I go in the sunshine. It's just like the life I live. It's like, obviously I'm a psychic, obviously I'm a medium. It's like I have no choice. It's just who I'm supposed to be. If I don't do these things, then I'm not myself. I'm not Tristen. Most people don't have to do that. Most people don't need to go meditate for 3 hours and read a book on astrology. No, we all have our own purpose, right? But yeah, for me, I had no choice but to learn it all. And I'm very grateful for that because now I feel like I'm quite good at my job. I feel like I'm, a pretty good psychic, a pretty good medium. And it's one of the most rewarding things it really is. Like, there's nothing more rewarding when I help someone doing something so deep. Like, if it's for healing something intense, there's nothing truly more rewarding. A couple times I got phone calls like at random times, and there are people kind of walking off the ledge, like people who are like really struggling, and just was speaking. I would just get in my psychic zones, get into my healer zone. I would just be with them, and it's really special to help so many people. I go to bed smiling every night thinking about it.
Thank you for sharing this. And we're going to talk to you up next about some of your struggles you've faced becoming a businessman and doing what you do, because I know the road hasn't been easy. We have to take a quick commercial break here. Would you mind sharing all forms of contact, how we can reach you?
My favorite is on my website, www.tristensky.com, TRISTENSKY.
Perfect. Sounds good. All right, everyone, stay tuned. We'll be right back with more. Don't go anywhere.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
yeah,
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
I quote, Tristen amazed me on so many levels. Not only did he pick up on current, past, and future issues without me telling him about any of them, he also passed on some valuable advice from the spirit guides. He is doing it in the most gentle way, which allows it to look at in the process the challenging subjects. So there's plenty of great reviews. Tristen Sky is his name, and he's joining us here as a Reiki master, a Kundalini yoga teacher, maker of holistic beauty products, and is a psychic medium. We're so excited to have him here, and he's working with people all over the world via Zoom. So welcome back. We talked a little bit about his development with his psychic gifts, and then let's go into school-wise and some of the struggles you face there, and on your way to becoming this businessman.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you so much. You're just the sweetest. I have to say, thank you for interviewing all these beautiful people so we have that platform to really share our experiences, right? So I just want to say thank you, Jill.
Thank you. I love it. I'm just very lucky. I have a master's degree in communications, but this is just an innate thing. I love people. I'm a people person, and I'm blessed to be able to talk to someone like yourself and so many others, because life is just so preciously short. And it's like, I feel like I'm getting to know the world this way, and everybody's so unique, so talented, and it's so darn cool. But thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. That's amazing. You seem to be in your dharma, your path. Yeah. Okay. So for me, basically how I became a businessman, I feel like that's your question.
Yep, correct.
Okay, so I feel like they're really two separate languages, if you know what I mean. So when it comes to energy healing and psychic stuff, it's not about logic, it's more about faith. It's more about believing. It's spiritual. It's namaste. So it's a beautiful practice, but turning that into business is it's very tricky, because when it comes to business, it's logic, it's numbers, it's payment, asking for money for your services. So they're very two separate things. I will be honest with you. I believe we have past lives, okay? I believe that we are souls in a physical body, And the soul itself has no color, no race, no gender. It's just an energy that's housed in a body that has a race, a gender, whatever. But I truly believe that in a past life, so before I was in this body, before I was Tristen, I was a businessman because I feel like I have these rememberings, like these memories of me being a businessman in a completely different body, a different name, like 1920s, maybe. I'm not too sure. So coming into this life, I feel like business almost comes a bit naturally to me. Yeah. So it's almost like my two lives, merging together. But you know me, I do a million and one things. So when I was young, I wanted to be an artist. So then I wanted to be a teacher, and I was a school teacher. I was a school teacher for about 2 years, which is all great, but it was too boring for me.
Oh my God, amazing. Art teacher, right? And you were teaching in the high schools?
Yes, I was teaching art, which I love. I love kids. Also very, very rewarding, but kind of lacked a bit of magic for me. I'd rather teach about astrology and teach about things that I find a bit more meaningful.
I have a 7 and 9-year-old. You can come over anytime. 2 boys.
Aw. Oh, I'd love to. I'd love to. I'd love to. Gosh. My sister has 2 kids, and my gosh, I'm obsessed with them. I just want to, I love them. I love
You want to
kids.
squeeze them. I know. They're amazing. They're even better when they were so much better when they're not yours. I remember that because I was the last one to have kids. But anyway, continue.
So
Go ahead. I don't want you to lose your train of thought.
That's okay. That's funny. But I lost my train of thought. But that's okay.
In your past life, you were a businessman. You have this natural ability. You feel like a businessman because you basically are. And so you love to teach. But then you said you more like astrology would be like better for you. But you were so passionate about all this. And then that's how you decided to create your business. I think that's what you were going to say.
Bingo. We got there eventually.
I'm a psychic medium. I just knew it.
Well, you know what? We all are. I want to say every single person can be psychic. I believe we're all born with different traits. Like for me, I was naturally sensitive. I came out of the womb very sensitive and gentle. So it was a little bit easier for me to kind of connect to that. And for some people, it can be very tricky to just have that sense of belief. Like it's hard to just believe, they need to be logical or practical. So we're all different. But yes, Jill, I think you're very intuitive. And I think anyone can be psychic if they truly practiced.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And let's talk now. So you decide to, well, let alone become everything. You get trained in yoga, you get trained as a Reiki master, and your offerings include so much. Can we talk about some of the things that you can offer to our listeners today?
Yes. Okay. Yes. So the main thing is if you go to www.tristensky.com and it's you book a session with me in person, if you live in the cold Sudbury, Ontario, or through Zoom, it's a channeling session. This is what I think I'm most known for, which I think I love the most. So this is when I talk to your spirit team, to your past loved ones, to angels. I connect a lot to angelic energy, and I pass along messages to help you on your journey. Okay, so that's the main thing. Sometimes I get that little nudge on my shoulder that I'm like, we need to do some energy healing. So if it's through Zoom, perhaps we're just breathing together, which seems kind of boring, but it's sometimes one of the most magical things. So that's basically, out of all the million and one things that I do, that's what I think is the most meaningful, is just booking a session with me. If you live in Sudbury, Ontario, if you live around me, then yes, I teach yoga on Sundays. I sell products that you can come by, but my main thing are just my psychic medium sessions. That's because I studied one in a million things, but now it's specifically that. Again, one more thing, occasionally, sometimes I get the little tap on my shoulder that I should look into astrology. So sometimes I'll ask for the client's birthday, birth time, birth information to look at the astrological chart. Because I spent years studying that as well. I went to Berlin for 3 months to study astrology as well. I went to Czechia to look about a bunch of old astronomical clocks and books. So I love astrology too. It's a great tool. So sometimes I'll dabble in that as well. But I don't know, just go to my website and see what you're called to do.
Oh, well, this is great. And I also, again, you got to read some of the testimonials on his page. Gosh, you have so many, and each and every one's better than the next. Could you share a client experience or two of someone that you've helped recently along the way? It's great to hear these stories.
Oh, thank you. You know what? Yeah. And the thing is that I love my clients. I love them, and I'm so passionate about this work. Like, gosh, I love astrology. Gosh, I love energy healing. And it warms my heart when I get a client. So, and then I get a bunch of clients write me these nice messages saying how much I've helped them. So of course, it's amazing. Okay. So think about a story. Well, they're personal. I can't really say, but there's been so many times where I'll say the weirdest things that connect. For instance, I'll be like, I'm seeing a broken refrigerator, and the client will be like, oh my God, I broke my refrigerator today. Actually, I'll give you an example with my sister, because when I was developing my psychic gifts, I practiced a lot with my sister, because my sister is my person. And I remember just connecting with her energy. And she lives in Ottawa. I live in Sudbury, 6 hours apart. And I would see specifically turquoise clothing, workout clothing, like leggings, a sports bra, and the color turquoise. So it's very specific. So I called her and she's like, oh my God, Tristen, I literally bought that today. And I was like, huh. And then as I was talking to her, I was tasting kale, like kale salad. I'm like, okay, is there something with kale? She's like, oh my God, I just had some for lunch. So it's kind of like a game, kind of that's what I do. It's like I see things, hear things, taste things, and it's kind of like a game. But once we get that out of the way, then I can go into more healing things. And I could say, well, you know what? Maybe you should switch jobs because this is what I'm seeing. And they tend to trust me because I tend to earn their trust with all the psychic games I said. So then we go into healing other things. You should break up with your boyfriend or you should get back together with your boyfriend. I don't know, but I tend to give messages once I gain their trust through the little psychic games. Countless in one stories. I'm not too sure. I say a lot of things that to me seem random, but always hit home for the client because I'm channeling. Like the information flows right through me. So it's like I don't really know what's going on. I'm just talking and it goes through me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, then there's also retreats that you do. You have, you're writing a book. Oh my goodness. Do you want to share a little bit about this?
A million and one things. I told you. Yeah, all in the same field, all in the Tristen Sky field. But yes, I'm writing a book. It's a lot of work. It came to me in a dream, this book, and I was like, well, that's enough for me. If it's a dream, that means I know it must be legit. So it came to me in a dream. And my book, it's a mix between self-help. So like I read a lot of books on astrology, chakras, all that stuff, but sometimes it feels a bit like schoolwork. So it's a fictional story actually, but about all these things. So there's teachings, but there's also a story because I'm a very creative person. Hopefully this will be done in September 2024. Huge project. And
Oh my goodness.
yeah. And also, yeah, retreats. I love to do retreats, healing retreats. I have one this summer, 2024, in Brooksville, Ontario. I'm a busy dude. What can I say? I love to work.
Clearly, fascinating. And let me ask now, can they reach out? Did you offer like an initial conversation if someone's interested, maybe not even knowing what they need that you could help them, but how does that part work?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll tell you this. I have strict boundaries because a lot of people, I meet people all the time. They're like, oh my God, tell me my future. Do you see anyone around me? And I kind of get a little insulted. I'm like, this is my job. You got to pay me. Hello.
Yeah.
I have a couple offerings so that are a bit, to test me out a bit. Like I have like on my website, it's $3. You can book that and I'll pick a single card for you with a little write-up. So it's a little taste of a message. I have a more lengthy card reading, which is $20. So you can do that. But no, I say just book ahead, read my testimonials, trust that I'm amazing, and book a session with me.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much. Pleasure getting to know you today. And I know next time we're going to dive a little deeper into energetic boundaries. So we got to stay tuned for this one. And you're going to talk about that more. Also, I urge everyone to please go visit him on social media. Again, under the name, it's Tristen Sky. So Tristen sky.com. That's the website. That'll bring you everywhere you need to be. And can I ask just a random question?
Totally.
I hope you're not insulted because you have the most beautiful hair I've ever seen. Is that real or are those extensions?
It's my real hair. And I am a psychic because I knew we were going to talk about my hair today. I swear to God. I was like, why am I? So I was meditating and I was like, my hair. Why are we going to talk about my hair? That's so funny. Yeah, it's real. And it's very sacred to me. I love my hair. It's
Oh,
sacred. Yeah.
God bless you, because I'm like follically challenged. I have very thin, fine hair. I'm actually going right after work today to go get my hair extensions taped back in my head. So I'm kind of like, I have the short, really no like baby fine hair right now, and I'm
Aw.
feeling gross. And then I look at your picture and I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
that's what I want. And I
Oh.
can't get it naturally. So I go for the extension. So I knew it was real, but I had to ask, and I hope you
You're
don't
so
mind.
sweet. Well,
I'm
no,
an
it's
open
like-
book too. So God bless your hair.
You're so sweet. Well, I must say that I honor my hair. I brush it. I don't pull on it. Like I don't break it. I'm so gentle and loving with my hair. I also take hair vitamins. That helps a lot.
So do I. Well, I've tried the Nutrafol. I've tried the Viviscal. I just think I naturally just don't have the right hair follicles. But we all have something. We all have
Yeah.
gifts.
I mean,
Sometimes we
yeah.
don't have the gifts we want, right?
You're gorgeous in every other way, right? So
Well,
we all have
thank
our
you.
places
Thank you.
of
I'm lucky
beauty.
to be alive. Happy to be a mom. Happy to be on this earth for whatever amount of time I'm supposed to be. I'm just a life lover, and I admire people's hair that have beautiful hair, because you always look to other people what you don't have, and it's like you could appreciate something on them. So beautiful. So
I
again,
hear you.
our psychic medium with the best hair ever, astrologer Energy Healer, who is here to help. Please reach out. Tristen Sky, thanks so much again, and looking forward to connecting next week.
You got it. Thank you, my dear.
You too. Enjoy your day. Thank you. And to everyone listening, please stay tuned. More of the show's coming right up.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.